Good morning, students. Here is the second application of Gauss theorem, that is to calculate electric field due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. For this, let us consider this charged spherical shell having a radius capital R and center O. Let Q is the charge distributed over the surface. Okay. Now, first case, if we want to calculate electric field outside this cell, let us consider we have to calculate the electric field at point P, which is outside this cell. So for this, let the distance OP is R. So in order to apply Gauss theorem, we have to imagine a Gaussian surface which is in the form of a sphere, because around this charge shell there is a sphere only, at every point of which electric field remains fixed. So we draw a sphere, that is a sphere S1. Okay, so S1 sphere is a Gaussian surface of the electric field, or we can say in the electric field. So now consider a small surface element around this point P on the Gaussian surface. Let this surface element is say ds1. Then the direction of this surface element is perpendicularly outward, that is represented by n cap, which is also the direction of electric field due to this charge distribution. Okay, so we know that the total electric flux passing through any surface is equal to the 1 by epsilon of the total charge enclosed by the surface. So if we calculate the flux through this surface S1, it must be equal to this electric field dot ds integral over surface S1, which must be equal to this q upon epsilon naught. This is the Gauss theorem, so we can write here using Gauss theorem or Gauss law. Okay, say it is equation 1. Okay, now further we know that this dot product may be written as this E ds1 cos of 0, as the angle between electric field and normal component is 0 over surface S1, which is equal to q by epsilon naught. This cos 0 is 1, so we can write E integral ds1 for S1 is q by epsilon naught, as ds1 is the small element on this sphere, or we can say spherical surface. So the summation, or we can say integration of this small surfaces gives the total surface area of the sphere. So we can write here E into this total surface area, that is 4 pi r square will be equal to q by epsilon naught. So here if we write it as electric field must be equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. This is the equation second. This equation gives the electric field at point P, which is outside the spherical shell. So this expression is similar as that of electric field at any point P due to a point charge at O. So we can write, or we can say we conclude that the electric field due to a charged spherical shell outside this shell is appears as electric field due to a point charge at O. That is, charge distribution is appears to be concentrated at the center, that is at O. Okay. Now the second case, say case B. If point P is lies at the surface of the sphere, that is small r must be equal to capital R. That is, if this point P is at the surface of the sphere, so both the radius becomes equal. So we can write in this equation small r can be replaced by capital R. So the electric field E must be equal to Q upon 4 pi r square into epsilon. Okay, say this is equation third. Now in this case, if we consider that sigma is surface charge density, that is Q by this surface area, okay, that is equal to sigma, or so we can say Q must be equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Putting in equation third, we get this electric field on the surface must be equal to sigma into 4 pi r square upon 4 pi r square epsilon. So 4 pi r square cancelled out and we remains with sigma upon epsilon. So electric field is depend on the surface charge density of the charged spherical shell. Okay. Now another case, that is case third. If the point P is lies inside the shell, inside the charged spherical shell, if this point P is lies somewhat inside, so we can say let this is the charged spherical shell having charge plus distributed on the surface of this charged spherical shell having center O. Now if point P is lies inside the charged spherical shell, so we consider Gaussian surface like this, a sphere around this point O, and point P is lie on the surface, so we can say this is the second surface, which is called a Gaussian surface in this case. So as we already said that the flux passing through the surface is E into 4 pi r square, that is like this here 4 pi r square, and this flux must be equal to the charge upon epsilon naught. But as no charge is present inside this Gaussian surface S2, so if charge is 0, it means this E into 4 pi r square is equal to 0, because charge inside the sphere is 0, because charge is distributed only on the surface of the shell, so electric field must be 0. Okay, so we can say if point P is inside the charged spherical shell, the electric field is 0. At the surface of the charged spherical shell, electric field becomes Q by 4 pi r square epsilon naught, and outside the surface it becomes Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. So it is clear that r is greater than capital R. So we can say on the surface this quantity is becomes maximum. Okay, so if we want to draw a graph between distance from the center and this electric field, so electric field versus displacement, or we can say draw distance, if we take electric field intensity on y-axis and distance from the center of sphere on x-axis. So inside the cell, till the radius becomes equal to the radius of the spherical shell, that is small r equivalent to capital R. Okay, till small r becomes equal to capital R, say this is the value of capital R, that is the radius spherical shell. So electric field remains 0 inside the shell. Now at the surface, when r is equal to r, okay, when r is equal to r, then surface, at the surface electric field becomes maximum, say this value is the maximum value of electric field. Okay, and after that it also start decreasing. Okay, and it is inversely proportional to r square, as it is stated earlier, like this. Okay, so this is the graph for the distance and electric field. So it is the second application of Gauss theorem. Thank you very much.